said to me, I don't know what went wrong. It went okay in the rehearsal. Gosh, folks, this is not a rehearsal. This is the real thing, and we want your real math pledges. Matter of fact, some have been coming in today. I want to tell you about them. They're really fabulous. Here's a guy in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, he pledged the use of his favorite number, 1 Google. That's 100th power of 10. That's 1 followed by 100 zeros. Great one. Burnt Stump, Montana, pledged a set of metric rulers, good for measuring lengths in millimeters, centimeters, up to 2 meters long. This is fabulous. Thanks for that one, guys. Resume Speed, Oklahoma just pledged a complete set of large numbers, including billions and millions. We can use those to record our pledges. Right this way, folks. Now, Great Barrington, Massachusetts. There's a place I love. They pledge a multiplication with products up to 20 times 20. Here you go, right this way, folks. I love the way you guys move. It's just great, yeah. Vicksburg, Michigan. They pledge a set of common fractions, halves, thirds, fourths, even six. Listen, folks, I can't overemphasize the importance of mathematics, even though I seem to be, pardon me.
Who do I look like? Gerald Ford?
No, no, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Oh, what happened? Did your tum-tum make a bloober?
No, actually, I couldn't help but notice that you have a bag of golf clubs and a camel.
You are very observant.
Why?
Well, I carry the golf clubs because I'm on the way to a golf tournament.
Oh. And the camel, how do you use the camel in the golf game?
In case I hit into a very big sand trap. Come along, Arnold.
You know, there's a lot of numbers involved in the game of golf.
Oh,
see? Oh! Went from a 4 to a 3. Must have been a discount tournament.
Did you see a golfer go through here?
Oh, yeah, as a matter of fact, he went that-a-way. Is that his golf ball?
Yes, it is.
Oh, and what was that shattering glass sound I heard?
My contact lens.
Are you gonna sue him?
Nah, I just want to talk to him about club selection for a second shot.
Bummer. Well, listen, folks, we got to get back to our pledge show. You know, it is time now for one of the great moments of our math-a-thon. It is my distinct honor and privilege, well, maybe not honor, to present two of math's favorite exponents, Jeanette Nelson and Eddie McDonald, posing the eternal musical question, why do I love math?
Why do I love math?
Why don't you love me?
Math's shown me the path.
How can that be?
We got lost on our last walk, dear.
There's no need for you to squawk, dear.
Now I have a map.
So you know where we be.
We shan't get lost again. Put your trust in me.
We will cut a very wide swath. Maybe that's why we love math. Why do I love math?
Why does math love you?
We are just about the happiest two. Folks there are who really care for
Solving stuff with math, and therefore
You're a lucky guy.
you are lucky too.
All our dreams, though shy, seem to come true. Maybe that's because we love math.
Maybe I am Fu Manchu.
Darling, I get the feeling you love math more than you love me.
Yes, I do love math more than I love you. But truth be known, I love everything more than I love you.
I don't have to stand here and take that.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, no, I don't. I'm leaving.
So am I.
Boy, I tell you, if that doesn't make you want to pledge your math to us, I don't know. I just don't know.
Hi, it's swell working at Harry's Hamburger Haven, where this week Harry is offering 0.7 more French fries than all the other guys. And believe me...
God, I don't like that 0.7. What does that mean? The 7 is pointy? What?
Oh, gee, I don't know. I just read what they write.
It means that Harry is selling more French fries than his competition. Please hold still.
More, huh? How much
Can I have a
more?
little makeup on that?
0.7 more.
Well, I tell you, I still don't like it. I mean, it sounds like it's a very sharp number. The kids could get hurt. Come on, give me something else.
Well, how about 7/10? How about 7/10 more French fries?
Ooh, that's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, there's something organic.
But does it mean the same thing as 0.7?
Oh, yes, it means exactly the same thing. 0.7 and 7/10 are equal.
Fantastic. Look, we're running out of time. Let's go.
All right, now, have you got this?
Yeah, I think I must.
Okay, now this time you're going to elucidate 7/10 more French fries instead of 0.7. We're very short on time. Are you ready?
Just give me a moment. I'll be off book.
Yes.
7/10,
Let's
7/10,
make
7.
history.
Okay, I got it.
All right. Harry's Hamburger Haven, take 2. Lights, cameras.
Hi, it's swell working at Harry's Hamburger Haven, where this week Harry is offering 7/10 more French fries than all the other guys. And believe me...
God, no,
I can
Bernie,
project
Bernie.
more if you
No,
want.
no, you know, I don't like that 7/10 either. I mean, really, can't you get me some writers that know how to sell from the heart, baby?
Well, Samuel, the kids upstairs have come up with one more idea which we might use.
Well, come on, babes, out with it.
How about 70%? We could say 70% more French fries.
70%. Now you are talking. Now, 70%, that's a lot.
No, they mean the same thing.
They do?
Absolutely. 70% and 7/10 are equal, Samuel.
70%. Now that hits home. Let's go. 70% more French fries.
We're very short on time now. Have you got this?
Yeah, I think so.
This
You know,
time-
I really appreciate this chance. If
Let's
there's
go.
ever
We're
anything...
losing
Now,
light.
now this time you're going to say 70% more
Okay.
French fries. 70%.
Okay.
Harry's Hamburger Haven, take 3. Lights, cameras.
Action.
Hi, it's swell working at Harry's Hamburger Haven, where I just learned something. Look here. 70% means the same thing as 7/10. And 7/10 and 70% mean the same thing as 0.7. That's really amazing.
Alfie,
Yes, sir.
do you have a last name?
Yes, sir. It's Fontaine, like in your boss, Mr. Fontaine.
You're wonderful.
Thanks very much.
You've already seen this much of Square One TV. How much do you figure is left?
These two contestants, Jeanette Vincent and Christopher Saunders, will separate mathematical fact from fiction on Square One Challenge. Hi, everybody. I'm Reggie Cathy, and welcome to Square One Challenge. And now let's meet the host of our show, Mr. Larry Cedar.
Oh, hey, hi, Rick. Welcome to Square One Challenge. I'm very excited about today's game. We got terrific questions, and I'm really happy to introduce as our guests, Chris and Jeanette. Welcome to the show, and good luck to you. Signing for us today will be Alan Champion and Marianne Glusack-Brown. Welcome to you. All right, you know how the game is played, so let's get right to the first question. Helping us out is Cynthia Darlow. Hello.
Hello, Larry.
Cynthia has brought with her this kind of wacky box design sent to us by the Botched Up Box Company. They specialize in those silly box designs. Now, here's the question. When you fold up this box design, which box will it look like? Box A or box B? All right, you're going to take that wacko box design you see there, fold it up. Which will it look like? Box A or B? That's the first question. And now with some answers to that question, let's meet our guests for today from Square One TV, Beverly Mickens and Chris Franco. Hello.
Wacky box.
It's a wacky. I'm fine. Okay, what do you think? Box A or box B? Chris.
Well, I think it'll look like A. When you fold up the box, the 3 triangles form a point.
Okay, thank you. Chris says box A. Beverly.
Well, I think it'll look like B. You can fold the triangles to form a point inside to make a box like B.
Beverly says B. Thank you for your answers. And now, Chris, Jeanette, it's up to you to decide if Beverly is telling the truth or bluffing, and if Chris is telling the truth or bluffing. They may both be telling the truth. They may both be bluffing. We don't know. You'll get 50 points for each correct decision you make, so think about it. If you fold up this unusual box design, what will it look like? Box A or B? Okay, you've had time to write down and lock in your decisions. Chris?
I think that Beverly is bluffing and that Chris is telling the truth.
You believe that Beverly is bluffing. She said box B. Chris is telling the truth, you think? He said box A. Jeanette?
I think Beverly is telling the truth, and I think Chris is bluffing.
You believe that Beverly is telling the truth, and Chris is bluffing. All right, for 100 points, let's find out how you did with our first question. Will the truth tellers please stand? They are both telling the truth. That's very interesting. Can we have an explanation, Chris?
Certainly. Both of our answers are correct. A simple demonstration will suffice. Watch. Fold it like this, and you have a solid like A.
Yeah, but fold it like this, and you have a solid like B.
Very interesting. Thank you for your answers, Chris and Bev. Let's see how our contestants did. Chris, you were correct about Chris. You'll get 50 points for that correct decision, 50 points on the board. Jeanette, you were correct about Bev, 50 points for that decision. Okay, it's a tie score. After the first question, you guys are off to a terrific start. Here is our second question. Take a look at this graph here. Now, you will notice that this graph shows the daily high and low temperatures over the course of a week. Now, as you can see, the blue bars represent the high temperatures, and the red bars represent the low temperatures. Here's the question. Which day had the lowest high temperature? Which day had the lowest high temperature? Okay, there's the question. And now for some answers. Chris?
Monday, because it had the lowest temperature of the week, and the high temperature was pretty low, too.
Chris says Monday. Beverly?
Oh, come on, you guys. Look at the graph. It's obvious. The lowest high temperature was Wednesday.
All right, Beverly says Wednesday had the lowest high temperature. Chris says Monday. Think about it. Which day had the lowest high temperature? Chris, you've had time to write down and lock in your decisions.
I think that Beverly is telling the truth and that Chris is bluffing.
You believe that Beverly is telling the truth. She said Wednesday, and Chris is bluffing. He said Monday. Jeanette?
Me too. I think Beverly is telling the truth and Chris is bluffing.
You also believe that Beverly is telling the truth and Chris is bluffing. Okay. For 100 points, let's see how you did. Will the truth tellers please stand?
Yes.
Beverly is telling the truth and Chris is bluffing. Very interesting. Beverly, could you please explain?
Yeah, I'll be glad to. You don't need to look at the red bars at all, just the blue ones. The shortest blue bar is on Wednesday.
There you have it. Thank you very much, Beverly. Let's see how our contestants did. Chris, you were correct about both Chris and Beverly. You get 50 points each. For 100 points, you have a total of 150. Jeanette, you were also correct about Chris and Beverly. You get a total of 100 points. You also have a total of 150. It's a tie game going into the challenge round. Very nice job. With the challenge question is Reggie Cathy. Thank you, Reggie. This is the challenge question. Now, this question is worth 200 points. You must be correct about both Beverly and Chris to get those 200 points. It's all or nothing at all, so good luck in what I think may be the tiebreaker. Here's the question. It's a video question, so watch the monitor. You see before you 100 numbers. There are 10 rows, each with 10 numbers. If you add them all together, what is their sum? All right, 100 numbers, 10 rows, each with 10 numbers. Add them all together. What is their sum? We'll go to Chris.
Okay, it looks to me like the average number is 6. There are 100 numbers, so you multiply 100 times 6, and the answer is 600.
Chris says the answer is 600. Truth or bluff? Bev?
Okay, in the rows, all the numbers are 6s except 5 and 7, which is the same as 2 6s. Let's see, 10 rows. The bottom row is one more. I say the sum is 601.
Beverly says 601. Chris says 600. Who's telling the truth? Who's bluffing? Think about it. 100 numbers, 10 rows each with 10 numbers. Add them together. What is their sum? Chris, you've thought about it and written down your answer.
I think that Beverly is bluffing and that Chris is telling the truth.
You believe that Beverly, who said 601, is bluffing. And Chris, who said 600, is telling the truth. Jeanette.
I believe that Beverly is bluffing and that Chris is telling the truth.
You believe that Beverly is bluffing and that Chris is telling the truth. Thank you. All right, let's see for 200 points how you did. And remember, you must be correct about both Beverly and Chris. So let's see. Will the truth tellers please stand? Ta-da! Beverly was telling the truth and Chris was bluffing. Beverly, could you please explain?
Yeah, why not? All right. There are 100 numbers in the chart. Most of the numbers are sixes, but there are some that are fives and sevens. 5 plus 7 is the same as 6 plus 6, so we could trade them for sixes. But look at the bottom corner. Here is a 7 without a 5. 7 is one more than 6, so the total is 100 times 6 plus 1. That's 601.
There you have it. Let's see how we did. Christopher, I'm sorry you weren't correct about Chris or Bev. You'll get no points, but you still have 150 points. Jeanette, you were not correct about Chris or Bev either. You get no points. Also, you have 150 points. It's a tie game.
Whoa.
Yeah. Congratulations. Game well played. Now, in the event of a tie game, you are awarded equal prizes. So you will both receive, as our grand prize winners, Square One TV jackets. I must congratulate you both. Chris, a game well played. Jeanette, thank you very much. Thanks for playing. Thanks for helping out. Thank you to our sign helpers, and we'll see you next time on Square One Challenge.
The story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
It was Tuesday, 9:43 a.m. in the Big Apple where, as one wag put it, it was rotten to the core. My partner is George Franklin. The captain is Joe Greco. My name is Monday. I'm a mathematician. We were on loan from LAPD to try and help solve an interesting case in New York. We called it Swami Scam and decided to look at a couple of scenes from yesterday's show to help us hit the bricks running.
Mathnet.
After identifying ourselves, we met our new boss.
I'm Captain Greco, but you're gonna have to take my word for it. My badge is in my jacket. Follow me.
Then he told us about some kind of scam that was being perpetrated on the fine citizens of the Big Apple.
4 people, 4 rather prominent people, have each paid some kind of Swami a lot of money for information which proved not to be true.
They got ripped off?
They got ripped off.
And the way they got ripped off was via the sport of kings. One thing the 4 people had in common. They all received letters in the mail offering to tell them the name of a particular horse that was going to win a big race at Belmont Park.
Then they all went out and they bet on that horse?
They bet on the horse after they each paid this person, this Swami, $5,000. With a newly assigned friend, Benny Pill, erstwhile cab driver, we decided to check out some of the victims. The first was a man named F. Lee Bully.
We understand you got ripped off to the tune of 5 big ones, Mr. Bully.
Shh, come on, Lisa. Come on.
Mr. Bully told us he had indeed bet on a horse and lost his bet. When we asked him why he would be so foolish as to take some fake Swami's predictions as the truth, he said...
But it wasn't just this prediction.
Oh?
There were others.
Mr. Bully told us he had received a series of predictions over the course of a few weeks, and they were all correct. Other interviews gave us the same information. The Swami had made so many correct predictions, his followers began to believe everything he said. We found something else that was interesting. The folks that had been ripped off were all lawyers. George and I got into Benny Pill's cab and asked him to take us to our 10 o'clock meeting with Marvin Belly at his office on the campus of the Loophole Law School. Traffic was light, and we covered the 12 blocks in less than an hour. Mr. Belly was an imposing barrister and bade us to enter his chambers.
Please come in. Sit down. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you for seeing us, Mr. Belly.
Anything to serve the cause of justice, Miss Monday.
And to get your 5 thou back. Right, Counselor?
The money is tertiary, Mr. Franklin.
What's secondary, Mr. Belly?
That my wife doesn't find out I blew another wad on an oat burner, Mr. Franklin.
Mr. Belly, what made you have faith that this tip was a good one?
I thought you might ask me that. I saved a few other predictions I had received from the Swami. I think you will find them quite impressive.
When did you receive these predictions?
On Wednesday.
Every Wednesday?
Yes, I thought nothing of the first couple of predictions, figuring it to be some sort of junk mail.
The first predicted the winner of a basketball game.
The second was a football game?
That's right, and I wasn't too impressed. But the third was a bit more impressive. The Swami accurately predicted the outcome of a very controversial trial, the Scopes trial.
The famous Scopes trial?
No, that was 1925. This was another trial, Miss Monday.
What was this Scopes trial about, sir?
A zookeeper was accused of killing a monkey named Franny by feeding it mouthwash.
And the Swami predicted the decision?
Yes, the trial lasted for months.
Still, it was one out of two possibilities. Either the man was guilty or innocent.
I will never forget the headline in the New York Post. Zoe to do time for Franny.
And the fourth prediction was a primary election.
Yes, with 4 candidates running. He predicted the winner, and it was a very close race.
I can see why you might begin to believe that this jerk had magical powers.
Then the next Wednesday you received a tip on a horse?
No, the next Wednesday, I got nothing.
Nothing?
Right. I realized I'd missed it. I had subconsciously been looking forward to these darn things.
When did you get the next tip?
I got a letter which said for $5,000 he would give me the winning horse in his 7th race at Belmont for the coming Saturday.
Was it a big race?
Big. Ever hear of the beefsteaks? Biggest race to the fall meet.
Well, of course, the beefsteaks. Heard of it, Kate?
Uh-huh.
It's the 4th zircon in the double tiara.
That's right, Mr. Franklin. You know your horseflesh.
I ate a lot of fast food.
What else did the letter say?
To send a check for $5,000 to a post office box, and he would give me the name of the winning horse.
And?
And I did. And he did. He said Windy Bangtail would win in the walk.
And he didn't.
There's $25,000 in that bag, and as far as I know, he is still at the gate.
Would you happen to remember the P.O. box number?
Here it is. Box number 31313, main post office. But it won't do you any good. I tried to stop payment, but my check had already been cashed.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Belly. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, and come again.
George, call our other retired lawyers and find out if they sent checks to the same P.O. box number.
Right.
I'll go through the copies of the letters to see if I can find anything. When you're trying to solve a series of problems, it's always a good idea to see if you can find any common factors. In this case, things that hold true in each of the rip-offs. We asked Captain Greco if there was an association of retired lawyers. He said he would get back to us. Sometimes laying out the problem is harder than solving it.
Well, you were right, Hard.
I was?
3 other victims all wrote checks to the Swami.
Uh-huh.
And they all sent them to P.O. box number 31313. You find anything?
I don't know. I have a couple of the envelopes that were sent to each of the victims.
And?
They were mailed within New York City.
Gee, isn't
that
interesting?
Right. I don't know what that means, but let's get down to the main post office and check on good old 31313. Let's roll. We went to the James A. Farley building, the main post office for the borough of Manhattan. In the hands of the legendarily efficient postal service, we knew it would be but a matter of minutes before we would find the solution to our problem and would be able to slap the cuffs on the Swami.
Have a nice day. Yes.
A postal person left this in my mailbox.
So?
Well, it says I have a package. I'd like to pick it up.
You're in the wrong line. This is window 7.
I was told to come to window 7.
Who tells you that?
The person at window 11.
You want window 2.
She sent me to window 9.
Then go to window 9.
I did.
And?
He said window 11.
And window 11 said?
Window 7.
Well, this is window 7.
I know. I want my package.
Here it is.
Thanks. It's so calming to know the system works.
I'm Kate Mundy. This is my partner, George.
Frankly,
Mathnet.
What may I do for you?
We'd like to know who rents a post office box from you.
Box number 31313.
That information is confidential.
We're with Mathnet.
I forgot. Box 31313. Mr. John Doe.
John Doe, D-O-E.
No, D-O-U-G-H.
Address?
123 Elm Street, Anytown, USA.
Sounds like a phony.
Or a suburb of Columbus, Ohio.
Won't do you any good anyway.
Why not?
He turned that box back to us 2 weeks ago.
I'd like to talk to you about zip codes.
I get off at 5, sweet talker.
I meant...
And I meant there are too many to discuss here.
How many are there in Manhattan?
156.
Is there any way of tracing this envelope to a particular letter drop?
The United States Postal Service is a highly specialized and incredibly effective agency of the federal government, where neither rain, nor snow, nor sleet, nor gloom of night can stay these. No. There is no way that information can be extrapolated from that envelope because it is metered mail and does not carry a postmark.
Thank
you.
We seem to be getting no place in getting there fast. When solving a problem, you can't become discouraged. Sometimes it's a good idea to go back over the information you do have to see if you've missed something.
Kate, none of these extortion letters has stamps. They all went through a meter, which just gives the town, the state, and the date. Something else at the bottom. CB meter and a number.
CB probably stands for the name of the postage meter company. They all have the same meter numbers, so they all went through the same meters.
And the meter number must be registered with the post office. Maybe we can find out where these things were mailed from.
Right. We find out who owns the machine, and we've nailed our Swami cold.